Online classes and sessions provided by British Blind Sport and our partners are for educational purposes only. They should not be used as a specific treatment plan or course of action. The creators, producers, participants, instructors, and/or distributors of this program cannot claim any liability for injury or loss in connection with the exercise, activities, and advice contained herein. Exercise is not without risk of injury, aggravation of a pre-existing condition, or overexertion, and therefore you should always consult a healthcare professional for appropriate exercise advice and safety precautions. As with any exercise program, if you feel faint, dizzy, or have any physical discomfort during the session, you should stop immediately and seek medical advice. Any participant of these online sessions assumes the risk of injury resulting from performing the exercises or activities described.
So hi everybody, my name is Mark Bullock and I'm going to take you through a series of exercises that you can do around visually impaired tennis at home in your lounge with a partner. So I've got Samantha Bullock with me who's going to go through these exercises, and the first set we will do using an audible balloon, so high-vis balloon that's got rice in it. Then we'll do some exercises with an audible tennis ball with a rattle. You could also make your own, something similar. Then we'll do some with tennis racket and the audible balloon, and then racket and ball. And the first set of exercises we're going to do sitting or kneeling down, and then we'll move on to doing similar exercises stood up or with Sam in her chair. In front of me is a yoga mat which we're using as a tactile court. It could be a rug, gives a reference as to where you are, where the ball is. Down the side of the court on both sides we have some cushions which will help keep the balloon or the ball in play and also act as a tactile reference as to where you are. And then we have a chair on either side which will act as a net post when we need a net, and for the net we are using some exercise bands, but it could be a scarf which allows you to make a net very easily at home. So we're going to start off just by rolling the balloon backwards and forwards between us along the yoga mat, using both hands, so we're using both sides of the body. Then we start to introduce a little bit of a bounce in between us. There might be more than one bounce, and this is getting you used to tracking where the balloon is, using both hands. Brilliant. And then very quickly, just going to put the net up. And then I'm going to rattle the ball, say, ask Sam if she's ready, she will say yes, and then I will throw the ball over the net to bounce in front of her. She will try to catch it. So Sam, ready?
Ready.
Play. Catch it. So to catch it, then you're going to do the same to me.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Ready?
Ready.
Play.
Ready?
Yep. Brilliant. And then this time I'm going to tap it under the net to Sam. She's going to stop it, throw it back to me over the net. So Sam, ready? Play. Over. So I'm going under. Sam is going over. I'm going under. goes over, then we reverse it. So Sam, you ready? Play. So I go over, Sam goes under, I go over, ready Sam?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Brilliant. So there's lots of different things that you can do with the balloon. It's brilliant. Now we're just going to rally over the net with the balloon. I'm going to throw it to Sam. So she's going to try and catch it, and then she's going to throw it back to me over the net. So ready Sam?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Ready Sam? Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm just going to take the net down for a second and then do some similar exercises with the ball. So the first one is I'm going to roll it to Sam. She is going to stop it, trap it, and then roll it back. So ready Sam?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Ready?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Ready?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Brilliant. So now, rather than trapping it, we're going to roll it gently to each other along the yoga mat. So that's our reference to try and keep it on the mat. The same principle, but we're tapping it back to each other rather than trapping it. So Sam, ready? Play. So nice and gentle with some control. Alright, I'm going to try and use both hands. So I'm using both sides of the body, tracking it. Using the yoga mat as a reference, so we're keeping it on the mat. Brilliant. I'm going to progress it a little bit further. So I'm going to throw the ball, so I'm now going to be sighted. Sam is going to close her eyes, and I'm going to add in a couple of bounces to see if Sam can track it bouncing, stop it, and then roll it back to me. So Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Then roll it back. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Good. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Good. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. So now I start to vary my feet a little bit to make it a little bit more difficult for Sam. So Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Good. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. Good. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. And ready?
Yeah.
Play. Good. And quickly put our net back up again. So I'm going to roll under the net, Sam's going to stop it, throw it back over the net to me. So ready, Sam?
Yeah.
Play. Good. So when the first time, when I serve, in inverted commas, I'm going to say ready, Sam's going to say play, or Sam will say yes and I will say play. But after that we're simulating a rally, so I'm not going to say ready every time. So Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play. And then we have a rally going. And now Sam is getting the idea of where she needs to throw the ball. So we're now both going to throw the ball over the net so it bounces in front of our partner. So ready, Sam?
Yeah.
Play. Okay, brilliant. Now we've been throwing underarm, so I'm going to throw the ball overarm to Sam with my right hand. She then catches it, rolls it back, and I throw it back with my left hand. So Sam, ready?
Yeah.
So throw it overarm, you stop it, roll it under, and then I'm going to throw overarm with my left hand. So working both sides of the body. So I'm now going to shut my eyes. Throw with my right hand overarm. Throw with my left hand overarm. Right hand overarm. Left hand overarm. Brilliant. So now we're going to progress again to using a racket and the balloon. We can keep the net up for this. We're going to have a floor rally to start with. So just under the net, let's roll. Okay, if I want to work on my backhand, using the back of my hand facing Sam, I'm going to come to the right of the yoga mat and hit the ball down the yoga mat with a backhand. So my knuckles, the back of my hand is facing Sam. Then to do the forehand, I move to the left of the mat and the same thing. So I'm hitting forehands down the mat with my fingernails pointing towards Sam and my racket strings pointing where I want the balloon to go. Fantastic. And next one is I'm going to go under and Sam is going to flip the ball, or the balloon, sorry, over the net. So I go under, Sam goes over. I go under, Sam's going over. And we're going to reverse it, so I go over, Sam goes under, I'm going over, Sam goes under, and then we're both going to go over the net, trying to make the balloon bounce on the yoga mat just in front of our partner. So it's going to go over, boom. I'm listening carefully to see if I can track the ball or the balloon. Both going over with control. That one came a bit quick. Okay, fantastic. Now we're going to move on to racket and ball, still on the floor. As we did before, we can push the ball along the yoga mat, giving us a point of reference. Now, like I did before, if I want to hit backhands, I move to the right of the yoga mat. Again, kneeling or sitting down, going to have a little rally over the net. And I might have one, we haven't got much space. But just kind of keep it going, maybe have more than one bounce, but just have a little rally over the net. Again, working on control, using the yoga mat as your guide. Oh, hit the net. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's a lot of ideas of things that you can do in your lounge, on the floor, seated or kneeling. And for the next set, we're going to do some similar exercises, but I'll be on my feet and Sam will be in her chair. So now we're going to move on to some very similar exercises to those that you've just seen. But I'm stood up, Sam will be in her wheelchair. So we're going to go through the similar sequence, doing things with the audible balloon, with a audible tennis ball, and then with a racket and a balloon, and then a racket and a ball. So, just to start with, we're going to rally with our hands using the audible balloon. So I'm going to pop it to Sam. And pop it back, I might let it bounce. If it bounces, pop it back. Try and track it as it hits the ground. And then to start to get used to the serve, I'll do this on my knees. I'm going to pop the ball above my head and tap it to Sam with the palm of my hand above my head. So I've got my palm on my hand, my hitting hand above my head. I'm going to throw the ball up and tap it to Sam. So you can do the same back. Then I'm going to do it with my other hand. So now I've got my left hand up in the air with my palm facing to Sam. I'm going to place the balloon up with my right hand and then tap it above my head to Sam. So if I'm doing a serving sequence, I'm going to use my right hand this time. Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
And this time I'm going to serve with my left hand. So I place the ball up above my head and tap the ball with my left hand to Sam. Sam, you ready?
Ready?
Play.
Ready?
Yep. Last one with my right hand. Ready, Sam?
Ready?
Play.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Yeah, so there's lots of things that you can do with an audible balloon. Now we're going to do a few things with an audible tennis ball. Sam's going to feed to me and I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going into a ready position, a bit like a goalkeeper, with my feet either side of the end of the yoga mat. Sam's going to roll the ball towards me and I'm going to try and stop it before it goes through my legs. So Sam's going to roll it quite slowly to start with. And as I say, I'm going to try and stop it before it goes through my legs.
Ready?
Yep.
Go.
And I roll it back.
Ready?
Yep.
Play. Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Oh, managed it each time. So next time, go again, Sam.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
When I stop it, I'm going to turn around so my back is to Sam and I'm going to return the ball by rolling it through my legs to Sam. Then I turn around and face Sam in my goalkeeping ready position.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
I stop it, I turn my back to Sam, roll it through my legs.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Turn my back, roll it through.
Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Right. Fantastic. So there's loads of things that you can do with the ball as you progress. You can make up your own games. This is just a sample of some of our ideas. Sam, come a little bit closer to me. And on this one, I'm going to just get Sam used to. So I'm going to say, ready, Sam?
Yeah.
Just throw it into hands. And we're going to try and now I'm trying to track the ball in the air. And catch it in my hands. Last couple. Good. If that's doing it, just trying to track it in the air. Sam goes back a little bit. Now Sam's going to do the same thing, but it's going to bounce a few times in front of me. I'm going to try and track it. But we're using the yoga mat as a guide, so I know it's going to be roughly on the yoga mat as it comes through. So, go Sam.
Ready?
Yep.
Play. Ready?
Yep.
Play. Ready?
Yep.
Play.
I'm just tracking the ball.
Ready?
Yep.
Play. Ready?
Yep.
Play.
Brilliant. So I'm kneeling down again. We could do this stood up, depending on how much space you've got in your lounge and how much you want to move around. Please be careful and make sure you've moved all your ornaments and things out the way so they don't get knocked over by the balloon or the ball or a racket. But there's lots that you can do. So now we're going to move on to some things that we can do with a racket and a balloon. And again, similar to the kneeling, we're going to play without a net to start with, and we're just going to tap the balloon to each other. Can scoop it up. Or another way to rally is just to roll the balloon from one racket to the other. So just rolling it. Good. And then I'm going to use my other hand. So work both sides of the body. So balance it on your racket, let it roll off. And then we can introduce our net. And we're just using some exercise bands. So now we have a barrier in between us. We're just going to pass the ball from one racket to the other. Now what I'm going to do here is introduce a little bit of movement. So to either side of me I've got a cushion that I can feel where I am. So when Sam passes me the ball, or the balloon, I'm then going to take a step to one side, touch the cushion with my foot, come back and pass it over to Sam. So here we go, I pass the balloon to Sam's racket, she passes it back to mine, I move to my left, touch the cushion with my left foot, come back onto the yoga mat, feel I'm on the yoga mat, pass it on to Sam, she then passes it back to me. This time I'm going to go to the right, I touch the cushion with my right foot, come back onto the yoga mat so I know where I am, pass the ball over to Sam, she passes it back, I'm going to go to the left side, feel the cushion come back, pass it over, this time I'm going to go to the right, feel the cushion with my right foot, come back to the yoga mat, pass it on to Sam. Again, there's loads of things that you can do to create your own rallies, make up your own games, but then here's just a few ideas. Now, very quickly just going to go back to rallying just with a ball. So just put your racket down a second, Sam. So I'm going to be on the yoga mat. Sam's going to come forward a little bit, Sam's just going to feed. So I've got my feet either side of the yoga mat, Sam's going to throw the ball over with some bounces, I catch it and throw it back. So again, rallying over the net, but just with the ball. Here, because of the space we've got, I'm just catching it after one bounce, but if you've got a bit more space, go more than one bounce, so you're tracking it. 1, 2, 3, yeah. I'm going to try and track it on 3. Yeah. Fantastic. So again, we're going to now move on to racket and ball, using the net and stood up. So the first one, I'm going to go over the net, Sam's going to go under, so I put it on Sam's racket. Sam puts the ball on the floor, rolls it under. I pick it up, go over the net. Sam puts it on the floor and goes under. I'm going over. Sam goes under. Then we're both going over, just by passing it from one racket to the other. And as we did before, I've now got it on my racket, balancing it. I'm going to move over to the left, feel that cushion with my left foot, come back to the middle, pass the ball to Sam, she passes it to me. I go out to the right, feel the cushion with my right foot, come back to the middle on the yoga mat, pass it to Sam, and the same. And then we're going to have a floor rally down the yoga mat. So we're using the yoga mat as a guide. Brilliant. And now Sam is going to become the feeder, and I'm going to hit one forehand. So that's with my palm and my fingernails pointing to Sam when I strike the ball, and then I'm going to hit one backhand when the back of my hand and my knuckles are facing Sam when I hit the ball. So to do that, I'm going to go to the left of the yoga mat to hit a forehand. So I tap a forehand down the mat, then I move to the right of the yoga mat, stop the ball and hit it down the mat with the back of my hand facing Sam. Then I move to the left of the yoga mat, tap it back, right of the yoga mat, tap it back. So this is just encouraging a little bit of movement, and I'm hitting the ball on both sides of my body. Fantastic. Now, what we're going to do to go forehand to forehand is I'm just going to move the yoga mat to be at the diagonal. So it's going from my forehand to Sam's forehand, and we're using the yoga mat as a guide as to the way the ball should be going. So we're going forehand to forehand down the yoga mat, and for a forehand, the palm of my hand and my fingernails are pointing towards Sam. So I go down the yoga mat forehand, Sam comes back with a forehand, I go down the yoga mat with a forehand, Sam comes back, nice and gentle. Brilliant. And then the cushions also help keep the ball in play. And then we can do the same backhand to backhand by putting the yoga mat on the other diagonal. And we go backhand to backhand, so the back of my hand and my knuckles are pointing to Sam, my strings are pointing down the yoga mat, and we go backhand to backhand down the yoga mat. Nice and gentle. So we're a very competitive household, so we're going to finish off with a little bit of competition. A very simple game. We have the cushions to mark out the side of the court and keep the ball in play. So My aim is to try and make the ball roll past Sam at the end of the course and score a goal. Her aim is to try and do the same at this end. So I'm defending my goal, Sam's defending hers. So off we go. It's going to be nice gentle hits to start with. Practice our tracking. Go. Oh, I think I scored a goal. Thanks very much everybody, hope you enjoyed it. There's lots of things that you can do. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks again, and thanks to Sam for helping me out. Enjoy trying playing visually impaired tennis.
For more audio-led at-home workouts, head over to www.britishblindsport.org.uk/active-at-home.